This is a comparative review between these two handheld fans, the OPOLAR and the EasyAcc brand. You'll note that the two are virtually identical. They, with the exception of the logos in front, the QC pass on bottom, and the fact that one has black rubber feet and the one has white rubber feet, or friction pads I should say. And the backs are identical. They operate in the same way, which is one press for low, another press for medium, another press for high. You notice the LED lights go on for each level. Low, medium, high, and LED light, and then one more press for off. You can also go from directly from any fan speed to directly to turn off. There's a cool looking blue light that turns on if you press and hold the button for more than 3 seconds while the fan is running. The fan has to be running when you press it, and the blue light comes on. Again, the blue lights are virtually identical. So the primary difference would seem to be the fact that the OPOLAR comes with a 2200 milliampere hour battery, lithium ion 18650 battery. It's generic, it doesn't have any brand name. Versus the EasyAcc, which has again a generic battery, but this one is rated by the manufacturer as 2600 mAh 18650 battery. So this one supposedly has a strong battery, and I tested them, and the EasyAcc tested out at 2635, which is good for 2600 rated battery, and the OPOLAR was rated at 2326, which is virtually a 2400 milliampere hour battery, which is much better than their manufacturer rating of 2200. So you would think that the EasyAcc would run longer than OPOLAR, right? Well, that's not true. The OPOLAR ran for 12 hours and 9 minutes on low, 6 hours 29 minutes on medium, and almost 3 hours, 2 hours 59 minutes on high, as opposed to the EasyAcc running 7 hours 31 minutes on low, 3 hours 47 minutes on medium, and 1 hour and 16 minutes on high. So virtually half the time with the EasyAcc as opposed to OPOLAR, even though it had a large size battery. So I tried running these two using Samsung 30Q batteries, which are rated at 3000 milliampere hours. And the results for both of those were consistent as well, which is the OPOLAR ran for 3 hours and 39 minutes on high. The EasyAcc ran 1 hour and 40 minutes on high. So again, the OPOLAR was twice as long as the EasyAcc. One of the reasons seems to be that the EasyAcc has a higher cutoff voltage. Upon termination with the high test, the EasyAcc, I ran it on low speed, and it ran for another 2.5 hours on low. Whereas when I ran the OPOLAR on low speed after cutting off that high speed test, it ran for only a little less than half an hour, 27 minutes, 28 minutes. So this has a lot of residual power left over when it terminates on high. Another reason for difference is because the fan speeds are actually different. The EasyAcc fan is set a little bit higher than the OPOLAR, and I'm going to show you some runtime tests comparing the fan speeds a little while later. So I opened up the inside to compare the inside, and I'll show you the results of that as well, but basically they're identical on the inside. After removing 4 small screws, the body shell opens up as shown here. The EasyAC fan is on the left, the OPOLAR fan is on the right. At first glance, the two fans look identical from the inside. Here's a close-up view of the two circuit boards. Again, compared side by side, there's very little to distinguish between the two of them. Notably, the circuit board numbers are identical. They are both labeled Liling A31V3.0, dated November 12, 2016. There are slight differences. For example, the alignment of the two boards are a little different. You can see that there's a slight gap between the body and the circuit board in the OPOLAR fan, but no such gap exists in the EasyAC fan. However, such differences might simply be due to manufacturing tolerances between fans where no two fans are built exactly alike. As shown circled in the pictures, the return wire on the OPOLAR fan is colored red and black, whereas the same wire on the EasyAC fan is plain black. This difference is probably purely cosmetic. And there are other minuscule differences such as soldering details and cleanliness, but overall, the two circuit boards appear to be pretty much identical. Here is a close-up comparison of the fans. The fan on the left is the EasyAC fan, and the one on the right is the OPOLAR. Besides the coloration difference where the EasyAC fan coils are much redder than the OPOLAR's, the OPOLAR fan coils seem to be slightly more uniform in appearance. We can't see through the plastic, so we can't be sure of that, but this was the only apparent difference between the two fans that I could find. This is an informal test showing the strength of the relative strength of the fans between the EasyAC and the OPOLAR. So this is about 5 feet away at the lowest speed for the EasyAC, and this is 5 feet away with the OPOLAR. EasyAC, OPOLAR. EasyAC. I don't know if you can notice, but it's blowing a little bit strong with the EasyAC. OPOLAR. It's a continuation of the same test of using a piece of paper to demonstrate the amount of breeze being generated from the OPOLAR. This is the OPOLAR, and this is the EasyAC. OPOLAR, EasyAC. OPOLAR, EasyAC. You can see the EasyAC has quite a bit more strength on medium than the OPOLAR. This is at 7.5 feet away from the fan. The fan is located at the end of the room. Okay. And now this is a test at the high speed. Again, this is the OPOLAR, and this is the EasyAC. OPOLAR, EasyAC. This is at 10 feet away. This is the EasyAC, and this is the OPOLAR. I can definitely feel the breeze, but you can tell from the piece of paper flapping that the breeze is stronger with the EasyAC. This is the EasyAC, and this is the OPOLAR. at 10 feet.